Sorry. Did you start it or no?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. We could like, you could cut shit out, everything.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so episode 9 of the podcast. First time with guest speaker, a boss. What's happening, man? Talk to me.
Yeah. So like last week, you gave me a book, The War on Art, and I don't know.
Was it hard? Like, what did you like it? Like, what's up?
Bro, I don't even read books. The last time I read a book was To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like I went to uni and shit, and it was just peer-reviewed studies, but like I haven't read a book. And this book, I thought I'd be reading like 5 pages at once. It's like I literally read it in a night. It was genuinely like I felt like the book hit me at the proper time.
It's
like,
a serious book, bro.
Yeah,
It's
all the self-doubt, everything that I was dealing with, like this book like encapsulated it. It was like as resistance.
Yeah.
And like also the book talked about what the difference is between an amateur and a professional and stuff.
Yeah.
And like it was kind of personal because like obviously even when you start treating a book that's like you're like holy fuck, it's reading my thoughts, you know. It's like of course it's gonna attack your ego and shit too, you know. So like I was reading, and then when it was talking about like the amateur and the professional, how like the professional knows like when to stop their artsy side and like also live a life, you know.
Yeah, but
that part felt personal.
From what I remember from the book, 'cause it's been a while, but it's one of my favorites, so I remember it good. So the first part, like you said, was resistance and personal attacks in your life that you feel like, yo, why is this happening to me? It's like, nah, like that's part of it. Like as soon as you start going for a real goal in life, like actually living like out your purpose, then life changes for you. Then you start feeling like the resistance of life saying, nah, like you have to work for this. Yeah. Basically, it's not going to be like easy every day.
Do you think that's a part of evolution in your mind, or do you think you're tapping into like, I mean, it's all going to be inclusive because it's all related, but like, or do you think you're tapping into something else?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm pretty sure. I feel like life itself, I don't know how to explain. Like obviously everything is in your head, but I believe like life itself will start like stopping you. Like I feel like it's testing you.
Yeah. And it's like a training wheel. Like you're going to realize that when you start going for goals and stuff, you realize like these micro problems that you have in your personal life, they're not micro, they're just subconscious, you know. Yeah. And like these problems start popping up, and then all of a sudden you're dealing with like, oh shit, like why am I, like you just start thinking about like, why am I feeling unconfident today? Like why am I caring what this person thinks today? Like you have to live a normal life and you have your goal. Like it's weird to like, I feel like when you have like a dream and a goal and you're chasing it and stuff, it's like you enter like sacred territory. Like things in life play out differently than if you were just doing things for the sake of doing things.
Facts.
So when like all these small problems and stuff, like you start dealing with all of that when you actually start chasing a goal. Like you have to work on your personality, or like deep rooted problems that you didn't even know you had, and like it's like leveling up. It's like I don't know if they end, you know, and things will repeat always because we're not perfect, but like it's shit that's gonna continue popping up. That's what I found true, and that's honestly what the book helped me with, is especially resistance as a term, and just realizing like I don't know what the parameters are of resistance, right? But for me, it was like it gave me a green light to be like, yo, a lot of the things that I'm dealing with, they're things in my head, you know, and a lot of it, we're social creatures, you know, like we've existed in small groups for hundreds of thousands of years and stuff, right? It's like you have to fit into a social setting, and like I just feel like I don't know if you find this true in your case, but sometimes when you're thinking different, right, you're always feeling lonely and stuff, and it's like even if the moment's good and stuff, it's like you still feel like what the fuck, like it's like almost like you're dissociated from every environment. So
to go with that, so I thought of my analogy to explain resistance basically. So and it coincides with what you're saying. So basically, if you ever played a video game before, there's free world, like there's like open world where like let's say you're playing Spider-Man, you can just swing around the city and just do random stuff and do like little tasks and stuff, right? But when you start to actually go into the real, like the actual game, like you start playing the actual game, like story mode basically, like there's cutscenes and like you have to do specific missions and follow a specific path, right? And that's like your game. It's not like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You have to follow the game, but that's yours. So basically when it comes to like the social stuff and thinking differently, I believe that when you have a true goal and a purpose, right? And you're not following it and you're just living everyday life, you're lonely because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
You get depressed and shit.
Yeah.
But like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, is it like...
It's because you're not following the actual path. Like you're doing foolishness,
okay,
you know?
This is like a question where it's like, what if you're not choosing what your goal is? It's like it's the only thing that satiates you, you know? That way it's your goal, but like, what if you could just give in and not have to participate in this immense amount of pressure and stress and like, you know?
I feel like
is that stupid to think like, okay, like maybe life would be a lot easier if I had realistic expectations out of everything instead of like being somebody who like just dreams and thinks like rides their thoughts out all the way, you know?
Knowledge and awareness is equivocal. So like what's realistic to you, like what's a fantasy to you can be realistic to someone else based on what they know about life.
Wow. Yeah.
So I feel like the more, like that's where the first step, like the first root that you have to create, like the seed is faith. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't really know. It seems like out of this world, but if you step in faith, then the more you walk, the more you learn, and the more you realize, okay, I can do this.
What is faith? Is it like, to you, is it believing in something more, or is it like a specific religion or something like, or faith, is it a personal tenet?
Faith is, it's a good question. Well, to talk about, obviously you heard about my last episode that one of the episodes I did where I talked about faith, and I said that like faith is basically a tool you use to conquer the unknown. Like, so faith is basically like a risk, but the difference between like taking a gamble and using faith is a gamble you can win or lose, right? Like you're taking like, okay, maybe luck's on my side. I'm gonna do this. I might win, I might lose. Faith is, you know, like there's no doubt it's going to happen, even though if you don't really know how, when, or why it's gonna happen, but you know 1,000% it's gonna happen because it's not on your timing, it's on like a higher power, which is God, right? Like it's, you know God's gonna get this done.
It's like a sense of peace and comfort that washes over you.
Yeah, like you know you're meant to make it to the end, so you're gonna step knowing that.
Yeah.
And just focus on each individual step because you know like it's bound to happen. There's no way it can't.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I think in a perfect world, faith would be easy to...
It's not easy at all.
No, I was going to say, because
it's not easy
I think I fall out of faith, like, on a daily basis, literally. It's like, I could wake up and, like, feel a type of way, and by the afternoon, I'm like, fuck it, there's nothing out there. Like, especially, like, if I read the news or something, right? Like, if I do it too many days in a row, I'm like, this shit, like, there's nothing special about anything. Like, a lot of fucked up shit's going on. It's, like, my own... like in Canada, like it's like almost like I feel like I have the ability to like have abstract concepts and something and stuff and entertain them. I don't have to worry about an immediate threat or anything.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of that though. The news, you see how it's inducing fear? Like that's the whole point of the news, to create so much fear. And that's definitely why they say like faith over fear, like because this world promotes so much fear. They want you to be scared to chase your goals, scared to lose money, scared to you know what I'm saying, like not have what everyone else has, scared to not fit in, scared to die, scared to do all these things. And that's what stops you from having faith. This world's created to take away your faith because they know once you have your faith, you can do what you're supposed to do and basically just evolve this world and grow.
Faith is the most powerful thing that exists.
Yeah, I believe so.
I also think like when I'm in a faithful state, right, it's like all of a sudden, like you're right, like life doesn't, like when I look at anything, it's like I just realize like everyone is kind of the same. It's like levels of playing field for concepts like like hierarchies and stuff, you know. It's like it completely levels the field. It's like everyone's just a person. We set the rules, we made the rules, now we're living them out, and these rules are like they have manifestations and stuff, right? How they make a country operate or a community operate and stuff, right? But like it doesn't matter. You're like anybody who like the purpose thing, once you have the purpose, you're allowed to go wherever you want, wherever you need to go. Like you just gotta be able to give in to that, I guess, faith. Like you gotta have it's weird, like purpose involves blindness as well, because you have to have trust in something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
That's tough.
We don't walk by sight, we walk by faith. That's what it, you know.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay.
Faith is the evidence of things not seen. So you were saying how like there's a certain like rules, laws and stuff like that, right? So you know about that story of the guy who walked on water? Like, you know how Jesus walked on water and he told someone to come to him. So basically, so he told one of his disciples to walk to him on the water, because like the water was like crazy and everything. They were stuck in the middle, and he said, "Yo, come," right? So everyone there is thinking, yo, obviously we can't do that. And they're chilling in the boat. But then one person takes that step out, and he takes another step and another step. And then like the waves start getting really loud and crashing, and he got scared and he fell in, right? But basically, like life is created in a way that we've been indoctrinated to believe certain things that might not exactly be true, but we don't know any better. So we follow it, right? Yeah. But faith is, we don't know exactly what the truth is. Yeah. But we know that for some reason this is possible. For some reason there's something in my heart that's pointing me in this direction. Even though it seems like I can't walk that way. Like there's no path made. But I know that this will take me to where I need to go. And you walk. And it's like, there are so many things happening. It's kind of like a path is made in the sky in a way. Like you're not following the roads and the signs. Yeah,
this is like that same thing, like the blind trust you have to have. That's what the water parting is. It's like almost like a story. Like you have to, sometimes you just have, sometimes you know, and you just have to do things that might not seem practical in like a physical realm. You know, it's like, no? Yeah,
I hear you. And to go back to another thing you were saying, you were talking about how one day you'll wake up confident, certain, like I know what I'm doing, and then that will like kind of go away, come back, go away, come back, right? Yeah. So I think in the book part 2, it was talking about how you need to kind of be a drone. Like I think it was talking about like a mindless, just wake up, go. Like he was saying how people are like, oh, I want to write when it comes to me, like when I get that. No, feeling, you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up and sit down. Right, 10 a.m. Right, like every day, like you gotta. That's how you kind of defeat that, what you're going through with your feelings and your emotions. Discipline.
I get that, but I feel like there's something more romantic about chasing that seed of inspiration. Although I fully get. I think discipline is, you know, like if you want to be the it person for anything, it's all discipline. It's going to be way more eating shit than it is just having fun, writing inspirations and like almost like altered states and stuff, like just understanding those and writing those. I get the discipline thing. One thing he also talked about was how over rationalization goes against you and yourself. It goes against, like over rationalization is a resistance. Like if you over rationalize everything, like I don't remember exactly, maybe he meant it in like a perfectionist sense or something, like you paralyze yourself. You can't overthink something, because every single time you overthink something, you paralyze yourself.
I forget exactly, like I think back in the day they called overthink. I think they called OCD the doubting disease. I think something like that. But basically, it's kind of going to what you're talking about. Where
is that what OCD is? Like it makes you overthink a lot.
I think I have OCD, and I think that's why I overthink all the time, 24/7 in my head.
Same. But I've never.
You just drown, like you drown in it. Literally, just sit there and you're just drowning in your mind.
I guess you depress the shit and stuff.
Like down. I'm talking, bro. Like yo. Yeah. I'm saying, like, just down the rabbit hole, just thinking about every little, little thing, and then
and
paralyzes.
Do you ever catch a tiny break from it? And you're like, yo, I gotta stop doing that. And all of a sudden, it's like 3 months later, and you're like a different person because you just went down a million different types of rabbit holes about your existence.
Like, there's bare war in the mind. Like, there's lots of just, you go through a lot, and you could like, if someone could look at you and be like, nah, you haven't gone through anything like maybe this past week or month or year or however long, right? But you've probably been through hell and back just in your mind alone.
Yeah. Oh, yo, even on a, like, yeah, I definitely get that. Like, do you think sometimes people want like tangible proof? They're like, okay, if you actually been through shit, like fucking, like, you know, like talk about it. And it's like, I mean, to be honest, everyone, this is when authenticity and organicness comes in, because like a natural conversation will only transpire if people are speaking truth, you know?
Yeah.
Or also be like very weird. It'll be like everyone can always sniff out when somebody is like bullshitting if they talk too long. You know, like you might be able to get away with a couple minutes or something, but if you extend a conversation, it's like authenticity is the only thing that pours through. So I don't think because I used to have a problem where, I don't know, I just like mental health wise, I was so fucked, and I would just do dumb shit and like say dumb shit, and like people around me, like sometimes like I'd push people away and stuff. And it's like, in my head, it wasn't like, obviously I didn't realize at the time how problematic and stuff it was, but like now, like when I realize it, I'm still going through that same stuff, and I cannot do the dumb stuff that comes with it, right? It's like sometimes I'm like, yo, do I have to like show pain and stuff? But it's like, no, it's like that's such a fucked up, like there's a term like called like depressive narcissist. I wouldn't identify as one and stuff, but I definitely think there's an allure to suffering that everybody feels like. And like if somebody, let's say in their personal life and stuff, they don't have to suffer and stuff, they seek it from like movies, music, like they'll just seek it from other things. There's some like it's a necessity for the human experience and stuff, but when it comes to personal suffering, you can't fake that shit. That shit is in your existence and how you lead your life. It's in your conversation. So like you never need to
So what type of dumb stuff were you saying to make other people separate from you?
For me, I would just like suck all the energy out of a room, you know? Like my best friend at the time, he described it as, he said like, yo, whenever I chill with you, it feels like there's 1,000,000 pounds around, you know? Like that's how he described it. And then like also like I've done foolish things in front of strangers. Like even when I was living like in an apartment right here in Toronto last year, like I would just go to a bar and like fucking just start venting to like every stranger, and like it would always, I mean, don't lie, I'm not gonna lie, there's a thrill about not giving a fuck and just saying the exact thing that's on your mind. But when you're in a really dark space, like people will give you sympathy, and that's what, dude, I realized like especially in Toronto, I met so many good people. It's because people care, man. Like even if you don't know somebody cares, if they see you suffering and stuff, like people do have sympathy. Like there's a thing where like you can find yourself feeling alone and stuff. That's something I learned by literally being a fool, you know? I was like, oh shit, like there's every night, like if I'm drinking, if I'm at the gym, if I'm working, there's always somebody who's gonna be like, yo, like are you okay, like what's going on, you know?
So I get that, and I think you're on the right track, right? Like you're doing a good thing. But what I learned through my experience is like people present to those who are present. So what I mean by that is like instead of just pouring on them, flow, like talk to them, and start off small and kind of make your way in. And then when they start opening up, then you open up a bit, and then eventually you'll be able to vent out everything you need, but it's in a healthy cycle of them venting out at the same time. Whereas if you're just pouring out on them, people are like, I guess, I don't know if it's selfish or just people want to talk about themselves, not hear about you. So they'll let you go, but like they want to let out stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think that's selfish. Like I used to. I mean, if that's truth that people want to talk about themselves and stuff, I would put myself in a selfish.
No, the thing is, no, don't get twisted. I'm selfish. I want to talk about myself all the time, but I know that I can't just let it out because then they're gonna be like, nah, I don't want to talk to this guy like that. So I let them come out and be free and let them do their own thing, and then I'll kind of implement myself with them. Like kind of let them take control. But
like, do you find you're good at that? Like where you can meet somebody once, and like by the time like you talk to them whatever a couple hours or something, like they trust you as a human, like they know your character, and like they like it's like you have like a warmer energy where like people could trust you a lot very 100%. Quickly. Yeah, same here. Like I mean, not so much anymore, I guess, but like I definitely think like when like in the past I used to be when I let go of people pleasing and I just kept the energy that was left behind, right? It's like for a decent period of time I just felt like everybody I met, they could trust me right away because I had that inside of me. Like I didn't have any negative intent. I never wanted to get anything out of anyone. I was still seeking approval. So it's like when you have such low self-worth and you're like seeking approval from other people, you know, there is a weird cycle about it where you'll think about your problems, and sometimes your problems you feel like they're heavier than other people's problems, right?
Right.
So like when you're seeking validation and stuff, it's very easy to be present for somebody else who's going through shit. It's almost like cathartic for you because it gets you closer to trying to meet somebody who could match your pain. It's a weird fucking concept, but that's how I felt, you know?
I always felt that everyone else's pain was worse than mine.
Worse?
Yeah, I always felt like everyone else went through.
That sounds more selfless.
I always felt like everyone, just the way they would describe it and the way they would talk about it, like, I've never been through that. Or like, that's crazy. Like, no way you've been through that. I just felt like everything was so bad, especially because you watch a lot of movies and shows and you see certain things, right? And people go through something similar and you're like, oh, dang, like, nah, I haven't been through something like that. Like, I haven't gotten into fights and done like just been an addict or just you hear things that you heard a lot in life and it's like, yo, I know that pain is serious because a lot of people have been through it and you know it hurts them, like jail and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's never happened to me, so you must be going through a lot more pain than me, maybe a bunch of breakups and stuff. So I'm like, but I always just treat them like that.
I feel like that's I mean, I think when you're looking at yourself personally and you try to gauge like what you're going through, it's like you literally have to hit rock bottom where you're like, just like, fuck, like I wouldn't care if I died right now or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And like that thought will not be insane to you. Like that thought will just be like, is a normal thought, you know? But like when you get better and you think back, you're like, fuck, I was going through shit, you know?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, so I you're right. There's a way, like, it's weird how you're saying, like, you used to think other people's pain's more than yours. I felt the opposite. I felt my pain was more than others. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's also weird to admit because it's like, there's no such thing as a pain Olympics, you know? No one gives a fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
that's what I had to learn,
and,
bro.
Like, it's your parents who are going to be hurt the most, your siblings. Everyone's gonna just eventually time heals everything, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I just think of that same weird energy. It's like now I just want to contribute. I want to do, I don't know how, but I'm still learning that, but I just want to contribute.
I like to believe that everything balances out.
Yeah.
So it might seem like this person's more than that person's more than this person, but I think it all balances
like
out.
Once you go further and further into life.
Like that one saying where they say, if everyone threw their pain in a pile, like all their trauma and hurt and suffering, and you've seen everyone else's pain, you'd pick yours back up. Like, not to say that theirs is worse, but like, you specifically went through what you went through for a reason, because that's meant for you. I don't think anyone else's life is meant for the life that you're supposed to live. And that goes with success too. When people look at other people like, oh, I want to be successful. Oh, you see how other, like, you'll look on social media and stuff like that, and you'll see all these people who are millionaires or doing what they love, and you're like, oh, they're more successful than me, or they put in more work than me. It's like there was a sacrifice. Like, if you seen all it took for them to get what they had now, you wouldn't want to do that. Like, your life is the way it is for you, and if you achieve what you want to do inside, then you'll feel your peak, and nothing else can go over that. Along the same lines of what you were saying, comparing is stupid, because comparing is you start fantasizing about what it might feel like to be somebody else, you know? And you don't know exactly what it took to get there or what they're suffering with. Like, you know, like the most simplest things, like just being healthy probably being healthy alone can make you better than somebody, or not better, make you have a higher quality of life than somebody who has $10 million and like has a bunch of ailments and stuff. Facts.
It's like, it's weird to value life, but it's like, what I was trying to say is you can't compare. You just got to live your own life. And when you stop comparing yourself to others, it's also a lot easier to be happy, and it's a lot easier to accept all the blessings you've had in your life that have been in disguise. You know, they kind of reveal themselves to you because like you have all this room to think, and like just things that you might have been taking for granted and stuff, they just start punching you randomly. Like you get sentimental moments and stuff.
I think value summed that up perfectly. Yeah. What you value more. Something might look great or shiny, but it doesn't really matter to you. And we talked about this before, where a lot of people might do things that matter to the masses, instead of what matters to them personally.
But that's brainwashing. That's being hijacked, bro. Yeah, like that's. I don't know if you could call that a fulfilled existence if you're living to please. Okay, I think it comes out of literally a household. Like, if you're growing up and like you always have to please your parents or something, all of a sudden when you're not, like, you know, you grow up and it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh, they're just my parents, they're human or whatever. All of a sudden you're gonna be pleasing society. So like you might try to please the whole world, you know, and that might lead you to a path where you're, all of a sudden you have all this attention on you and stuff, but you're still playing out the same cycles. It's like you didn't beat it. Like in my personal life, when I look at like somebody who's attained prestige and stuff, it's like my main focus is, I don't know, actually I generally don't know what I look for, but I think like with the culture we have right now with like social media and everything, there is a lot of attention grabbing and stuff, and that's literally people who've been deprived of it's a really mixed bag, like, because access to a lot of things is easy, and there's ways people will jeopardize their morals and stuff and just get where they need to be, or do what they need to be, or like they might let go of their shame and judgment and do things like weird shit, like, you know, like you see examples like all the like pranks and shit, like just ass pranks and stuff, right? But it gets you clicks, it gets you likes, it gets you money. And shit,
no, you got it at hijack still. You got it at hijack. I've never heard a man use that word before in my life, I swear to you. I don't know, but it's a hard word though. Hijack. That is exactly what it is though. Mans are getting hijacked, like they're not themselves and they don't even realize it. Yeah. Like a lot of things you do, you are unaware of how much that like affects your life. Yeah. Like it's not really you who cares about those certain things or wants to do those certain things or just your habits every day. It's who you've been programmed to be, like through music and social media and all these different things. That rewires your brain legit. Like you're not yourself and you have to go and find yourself or else nothing's going to matter. You know what I'm saying? And like, I remember I seen a quote the other day my friend showed me where if the little things don't matter, then the big things will never matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Or like the big thing will give you like a rush for a bit and then back to muteness, you know? You have to tap into your sensitivities, and that shit exists in the little things about everyday life. Like you got to just soak it up. Like do you have like an example of a little thing for you, and then I'll share mine?
A little thing that matters to me?
Yeah, like something like that you might like be like, okay, this is something like tiny. It's like or actually just share. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Legit, me and my cousin, so we were super stressed a couple nights ago, super stressed. And he's like, yo, I want to go to the gym. Mind you, I told this guy I want to wake up and go do my part-time job, whatever, and go work. Like, I have things to do, right? Yeah. Like, we got to hustle. And he's like, yo, I just need to go to the gym. And I could feel that, like, he was super stressed. Like, you know, and we were super, like, we were far from the gym, mind you. Yeah. We're far from the gym. And we walked there, right? Like, at 2:30 in the morning, we walked to the gym. And then we talked about it, like, yesterday. And he was like, yo, now I understand what you mean, Isaiah, about you just enjoy walking. Like, you just enjoy walking, running. Like, you just enjoy it. Because he said he hated the walk. He got cold. His legs were chafing. Like, he was just upset. But he's like, yo, all he was focused on is, I want to go to the gym. I want to go to the gym. But when he looked at me, he felt at peace when he would look at me. Because he could tell that I just enjoyed my time outside, just walking. So that's something that I like a lot. And he was saying that you need to, like, use that same logic, that same principle to achieving your purpose. Like, don't care about making it to the end, just enjoy the walk. Like, you gotta love not making it. Yeah. Oh, dude. 100%. And
Yeah. Once you're aware of like, okay, I haven't made it to where I need to be yet, but like these days right here, you know, these are like golden days. These are days you're gonna look back on. You know, you're in like the peak of youth and stuff, you know, and like things aren't going the way that you want them to go. But that's the beautiful part of it. If things always went like, it's like playing a game where you have all the cheats. You're just giving everything right at the start. You know, like you need that. You need problems that you could like kind of fix. You know, a lot of things you can't fix, but it's like you got to kind of be able to fix it. You have to find peace. It's a dance. Like you have to be able to do it.
I was just telling my friend this morning, cause she was going through a lot. She was like, yo, like, I just want to fast forward and just get to the part where this is like over with and done, right? Yeah. Like, and then even a lot of people tell me specifically like, yo, like your life, looking at it, they're like, yo, your life is like trash right now and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, nah, like these past couple months, I've loved my life, yo. I've loved it. I'm like, yo, and then I think about it and I'm talking, I'm like, yo, guys, like, you don't understand when you watch a movie, what are the best parts of the movie? Like, don't you love when that character who like has it all or is at the top falls all the way to the bottom and has to work for it, like, to get it again? Don't you love seeing like those characters that you feel like they'll never lose and they just get defeated? Like, obviously it sucks for them, but it's great to watch. Like, those are the best moments of the show. Like when the characters are down bad and they have to hustle and the grind, the determination every single day. Like Rocky, when he decided, yo, I want to win, and he starts like waking up 5 eggs, running every day, and like the hustle. Like, he was broke. You know what I'm saying? He was broke. He wasn't that good of a fighter. He had no chance, but you just love the fact that he was like one-tracked mind and just the beginning, the journey.
Yeah, like, and like same thing. When you're how you're saying fun, it's like this is the part where you get to suffer the most, but it's also the most fun. It's so weird how it works almost hand in hand. But also, this is when I say like overthinking is the devil, and like I didn't say that, but like
no, bro, like keep going.
Overthinking or over rationalization is it hits on resistance and stuff. It's like, in a way, it's like the only way I like same with you, how you're thinking about the last few months. You're like, this is the best, whatever. Like, a lot of events going on in my life, which is making it super, super difficult right now and stuff, right? But it's like at the same time, it's like I haven't had like the type of peace and like strength and stuff, right, that I have is amazing. Like I literally like I won't leave this room for like 4 days, you know. I'll step out for 2 minutes to use the washroom and like just drink water, and I'm just in there like like reading whatever, you know, like but making beats, whatever, like. But it's like after those 4 days, bro, when I like walk and like I'm going back home and stuff, and like my brother picks me up and shit, it's like it takes me like a minute to download back into like my fucking normal personality, you know. And like I don't think that's like some people might say like, bro, like you're doing nothing with your life and stuff. Like, it's like I generally think like something is happening, something's nothing, working, you know.
Bro, that word nothing actually sends me. It sends me. Because
what does that even mean?
Like, in a way, I feel like nothing is everything. I feel like what people think is everything is actually nothing.
I'm with that. Yeah.
And what men don't think, oh, that's nothing. Oh, that's like that's a dream. That's a fantasy. That's nothing. That's intangible. Like, that's everything. That's exactly what life is. Like, when you look at the way God talks about gifts and treasures, he always talks about stuff internal. You know what I'm saying? Like faith, hope, love, like just that's actually what's everything in life. Like, love is the principle of the Bible. Like, that is like, love is the start and everything. If you had to summarize the Bible into one word, it's love. That is everything. But can you?
Yeah, I'm such a pessimist.
Man can say love is nothing. A man can say love is nothing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, a
man. But do you think it's personal, like what life means to everybody, or do you think there's like a universal truth almost, like that's like love is everything?
I feel like obviously we're in this life together. We're all living this life alone together, but like we're all connected. So I feel like there is a universal truth. Whether you follow it or not is up to you, but at the end, we're all growing. And by the time we start making it to where we're supposed to be, like, we're all going to see each other, like, on, like, an even playing field. Like, just, I understand your pain, you understand mine, and let's just love each other and let's just coexist. Especially when you see in real life or in movies and shows and stuff when something catastrophic happens. Yeah. And like there's like a huge event going on and everyone's kind of feeling the same pain. I remember I watched like a couple videos on people who were around 9/11 and they just felt like the atmosphere was so like just obviously something bad was going on, but like
it brought people together.
People are just helping each other and the love and everything, like, you know, like a funeral or a wedding.
Weird, though, because I grew up like brown Muslim and stuff. Right? Yeah. When 9/11 happened, it was the opposite in my house, bro. Shit became hostile. I was too young. Like I was like 3 or turning 4 or whatever, you know. I don't really remember, but like my parents will tell me stories of just like things got scarier, like definitely got scarier.
That's a different perspective. Man. That's a huge.
Yeah, and also to build off of that, when you talk about faith in God and stuff, like because I grew up Muslim, and I like to be honest, like I left religion altogether when I was around 15, 16. Like I was a weird ass kid. Yeah. I was always like, I was into like Illuminati and lizard people and like emerald tablets.
My friends too, bro. Friends too, bro. Yeah, that's all like, we talked about in high school.
Yeah, like that was, I was just weird. Like that's all I would do. Fuck a social life, fuck everything. Like I've always been like an obsessive type of like private person like that. But I left religion and stuff, and I remember how angry I was, and like I don't think I ever let that anger go, you know. So I think my faith disappears so quickly because it goes straight to anger, because I just feel like there's a lot of events that happened to me in my life that I was like, this is unfair. This is not, like, if you love somebody, you wouldn't do that shit. But like the older I get and the more mature I get, and like the reason I'm like, yo, I'm still around, like I'm way stronger than I was growing up and stuff. Like it's like, I understand that things happened, and whether it happened for a reason or not, the only way I personally choose to believe it is I'm only looking at the positives of the most fucked up situations. And the way I navigate these situations is they're learning lessons. I learned a lot about myself. Like, you know, back to that loneliness feeling we were talking about at the start, you know, like spending a prolonged period in that place, right? That's like, I don't know. I feel like that's in its own way a twisted meditation or something, you know, like it's like, you learn something that other people, it goes back to the organicness. I think it made you
powerful in a way.
Yeah, it gives you autonomy over your thoughts almost. It's like now every day it's like the small things that matter and stuff. It's like I soak that up, man. Like I genuinely, like I get happy and laugh about the smallest things, but it's also those small things that hurt the most too. Like I don't know, but I try to live, you know. Like it's a mindset. It's like from now on, or like whenever I realize this shit, it's like I know I have to like be alive and live and do shit. Like this is where like I can never be a person who's just content just doing the not bare minimum, or just doing what I'm
regular,
told.
Just a simple mundane.
I don't care. I'd rather crash and burn.
Go to bed, you know? that.
Yeah, no. I need that.
I think that's where that loneliness became a gift. Growing up is like you're willing to take whatever the hits are, like to face whatever consequences it is to chase after something like meaningful to you. Yeah. A lot of people aren't willing to give up their friendships, to give up their status, to give up their money, to live like a broke life, to live a lonely life, because it's like it's scary to them. Like they're in a way they're not strong enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas you've built up that strength subconsciously, like not even knowing that you're building up strength to do what you need to do now. Yeah. And when it comes to your faith, like when it comes to God and all that, like you were brought into it from your parents, right? Like yeah. So a lot, like when I tell you a lot of people, even my cousin, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people.
It was also, sorry for cutting you off, but it's also social too, you know, like growing up. I mean, we both know I don't know, in the environment you grew up in, was there like a lot of, like, you're Jamaican, right? Yeah. Was there a lot of Jamaican kids and stuff? Like you grew up around a lot of Jamaican kids?
Yeah, I have a lot of family.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, same. I have a lot of cousins and shit. So yeah. But like in my immediate environment, there was obviously other kids. There are a lot of them. I can't complain too much, but I felt like being Muslim was not like it was almost like people are like what the fuck is that, you know? So it was like it was a way like that the othering occurred. Like I felt like the other, like I never felt like it. And culturally too, like being Pakistani, the culture is so fucking different, right? So like being at home and being in like immersed in a different world, and then stepping outside and having your own personal life where you're like just living life, and then a public life, right?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like
though.
I felt like religion is something I gave up almost. Maybe it was forced on me, but two, it's also the social pressure of society to be like, you know, like Islam might not be the most well retrieved, and like obviously there's good and bad things about everything, but like sometimes when you feel that people around you are only thinking, like you can feel people's like almost like energies and stuff when they think about what you when you say something, you know. And it's like I felt maybe for me it was like a way of being like, yeah, I'm gonna fit in now, you know. Like I remember eating fucking McDonald's and shit. Like I had never had McDonald's before, and I was like,
okay. You mean you never had McDonald's before?
I did because I could only eat halal, right?
So
yeah. So it bleeds everywhere. Yeah, and like, okay, but it's, okay. I don't know, like everything, like, you know, like it down to the smallest things of how you interact with your society every day. Like for me, it was basically Popeyes was like the only fast food I ate growing up. That was like where we'd go out, as a family to eat. But like I remember eating like McDonald's, like Junior Chickens and shit. Like I don't know, it was just like it made you feel like you're more close. Subconsciously I probably just wanted to feel like I wanted to fit in, but like I just think it was faith was more complex than me. Like it's a really complex subject, so it's like every single time I wrestle with faith, like it's that overthinking bug, you know. Like I'm not even consistent with my beliefs. Like I'll literally like be like, okay, this, and I just overthink it, and I lose the train of thought, and it definitely holds me back from achieving my goals sometimes.
I think what's holding you back is all of that, what you just said, like thinking about the past and how weak you used to be back then, in a way that you felt like you couldn't really walk on your own, like you needed your parents' approval to walk, but at the same time you also wanted to fit in with the outside world and society and stuff, so you gave up your whatever it was. Whether you were in it or not.
Faith. I feel like while giving up religion, I gave up faith. Faith is something I shouldn't have given up. To me, it goes hand in hand, for sure. I feel like they're different a little bit. Like I think I have faith now. I might not have like a religion, you know, because I like don't follow anything, but I have
relationship more, you know, like a relationship with God. You know what I'm trying to say? Like don't worry about.
And still, even like you can lose religion, it, like we were talking about. Yeah, you were also like talking about like, I don't know. Well, at a certain point, you realize you had to like not like when we previously spoke. I don't want to share anything of yours that you're not willing to share and stuff. But like you were just talking about like how at a certain point you had to like deviate and like leave things that other people would like consider cool, or like things other people would consider like the norm. Like you had to choose your own life, and like outside looking in, people might be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah,
similar to you, I think it was weakness growing up, not being able to stand on your own and needing a community to feel safe, to feel good about yourself. So you give up on whatever you want to call it, faith, religion, God, all of that, to whatever everyone else is doing. I want to do that. I want to seek approval. I want to please. You know what I'm trying to say? And then when you grow up now, like you said before the tangent, you're stronger now.
Yeah.
Like you see your parents as human beings now. They're not just this high and mighty thing. You see everyone else as like, I don't need to be like you. Like, you know, I'd rather be myself, and whatever comes with that is better than whatever I would get being with you guys. So then you start to do things to try and find yourself, right? And you go through that path, and then once you find your path and you start walking it, things change. Like you just start changing. And from the outside looking in, it's like, what are you doing? Like it's weird to them, but it makes so much sense to you.
Yeah. Do you still care, like, if you met somebody from the past, like, do you feel like their opinion would ever weigh you down?
Depends who it is. It depends the amount of respect I have for them. Like I feel like some people that I know should be able to understand. If I talk to them, like, I know your capability, your capacity to understand, to be empathetic, to know who I am. you can see like, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. Like my dad, for example. No matter what I do, I know my dad can be like, all right, I get what you're doing. Like I see you. You know what I'm saying? I see what's up with you. I see what you're trying to do. Okay, cool. But like there are a lot of people in my life where I disassociated because I felt like they wouldn't understand. I already knew that beforehand. So then
those are the people that make you feel lonely and stuff, right?
Used to. Like if they didn't like allow me to fit in with them or whatever. Like they made me feel like, nah, like
yeah, I grew like my personal, sorry for cutting you off.
No,
like,
you're good, you're good.
My personal like journey with the same concepts and stuff, it's like same. Like I always wanted to fit in and stuff, but I at a certain point I knew I was never gonna fit in. Also, like just getting older and stuff, I was just like, bro, like a lot of the things you even wanted, like you're grown. Yeah, you know, like it's like I can't even. It's like, bro, it doesn't matter anymore. Like just fix up right now. But like it, like I don't think I got that basket of what I wanted. You know, like I never got the feelings that I wanted growing up, right? So it really, like, I felt like my brain got pushed to its cusp, and then I came to the clarity came after, you know, and I was like, oh shit, like just lead your own journey, like just give in, you know. And like giving in is powerful, like because all of a sudden everything that used to haunt me, everything that used to fuck me up, I don't care anymore, and it opens up room in my brain to think about so much more shit. And at the same time, real life starts working better, you know, like it's like everything starts clicking, and like things become easier, like everything, like just I guess in a way it goes back to the book, like is resistance. Like a lot of the resistance maybe changes. I don't know.
You learn to embrace it.
You learn to embrace it. It's not resistance anymore, I guess.
It's a part of life.
Yeah.
Whereas when you don't really know what you're doing, all these little things, like any minute resistance comes your way, you're like suffocating. You're like, what do I do? This is trash. Oh my gosh. But like when you actually have a real goal and you're met with resistance, you're like, okay, I'm on the right track. Like I'm doing something. Like this actually feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is. But a big thing what I was trying to say before was to try again. So like before you were kind of placed in certain scenarios that you just had to go with it. So even if a lot of people are placed in religion, because they're placed in it and it's not a choice that they made themselves, because I feel like the biggest part about when it comes to God, faith, and all of that is making that decision yourself. So now that you're strong enough when you're older, have you ever thought about, all right, I'm going to make that decision to
can I be
find my faith again?
Fully open book, honest?
Like 100%.
Yeah,
bro,
like
100%.
I was doing a lot of like drugs and shit, right? Like not a lot, like not cool drugs, you know? Like I was just doing a lot of fucking like DMT, cat, like and then like small stints with like mushrooms and 2CB and just weird shit, anything to just get my brain to fucking. One thing, it's weird because I feel like that same place evolved me to have faith again, because I feel like so many like my brain was so tortured and stuff, like not, I hate talking about it this way, but I was just so dissociated. I felt like I wasn't alive, you know, like I wasn't present. And like I feel like a lot of it was like a rude awakening, and it brought me down back to planet Earth, and like I felt like a whole piece again. And like faith is something that's part of the equation again, because I think this is gonna sound weird, but I think I met faith, you know, like I met things that are I can't explain, and like maybe they might be a figment of my imagination and stuff, but like these things, they healed me. They gave me training wheels. They gave me one thing they never gave me was self-esteem. It's like I feel like that's my journey in life, is to build a self-esteem. And like I think one thing I think about purpose is like as somebody who's just spent, you know, I'm 26, so I spent like 20 years like being, not 20, maybe like 18 years being from like fucking like 6 to like 22ish. I spent being extremely unconfident and just severely depressed without even knowing it, really. Like I just thought like it just manifested differently and stuff. Like I feel like I don't even know what I'm saying, but I feel like my purpose is something to revolve around the fact that in places, even though when we talk outside in, you're like, okay, if somebody asks you like, what the fuck have you been through? It's like, bro, same. There's been fucked up shit that really seriously fucked up shit that I've been through, but it's not something I'm gonna tell people. You know, like that's private information. I don't need to prove myself. You know,
bro, it's all in your head anyways. Like, whatever they're going through is all in your head too. So if you're going through something in your head, that is actually something you're going through.
Yeah, it's such a weird concept, and it's weird that we measure it with like, what have you gone through? It's like there's so many other processes that occur in your brain, like discipline, resilience, like stress management, like how do you get along with people, like keeping your cool, all this sort of stuff. That's stuff that just goes on constantly, but it's like, I don't know why it always comes down to like, maybe for me, I don't know if it's society or just me projecting, but it always comes back to like, what have you been through, you know?
I feel like you're stepping in the right direction, trying to get help, like trying to find like how to heal your mind and how to find peace and everything, right? Mm-hmm. So you're coming across examples of specific instances, you know? But like when you find the faith that you're talking about and you find these different things that help to calm your mind, is it like for an extended period of time, or is it brief and it goes away?
Oh, brief. Because I think it's only because of that, you know how we're talking about overthinking and stuff?
Yeah.
I think over-rationalize, overthink. Also spending a lot of time alone, if you don't develop healthy pathways, spending a lot of time alone will only toss you lower, you know? It'll only toss you down.
So in like the whole Christianity thing and all of that, like the way faith works is like it's something you hold on to like for your whole life. Like once you get it, you don't let go of that, because that's what stops the overthinking. That's what stops the doubts and the uncertainty and all of that. So like what you try to find is like a final solution, but you're on the right track because you're finding instances where it's like, okay, like, all right, it's good, but it goes away. It's good, but it goes away. But you need to find out how to like keep also, it continuous.
Yeah, I know. But also it's like there's a game in my mind where sometimes I'm okay with not having faith or not being content and stuff. Like I don't need instant gratification for a lot of things. It's like these things are all things that like help you think different, you know? And like when it comes to songwriting and stuff, right?
Yeah.
All this stuff, man, it's fuel. You know, it's like you could write about it. It's like if I'm always like,
I'm
happy, you know, it's like, what the fuck am I even gonna, where the fuck is my brain gonna go?
That's a bad thing too, though, to feel like you need to be in a certain place in order to make good content.
It's not about that. It's about when we're talking about embracing the day and embracing the now. It's about that. I'm like, it's yeah, you're right. There's no like sane way to put it, to be like, but it's like, it's just accepting what your mind tosses at you, being aware of what your thoughts are, and then your daily life, of course, is going to have an impact on your mental, you know, if like shit is going wrong. And like, do you consider yourself like a sensitive person and stuff?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Like
I would say
at your core, like, let's say like before you knew how to like maybe as a kid, like, did you see yourself as a very sensitive kid or something?
I found myself, when I tried to get into circles or tried to please someone, I was extremely sensitive to any type of negative feedback they would give me.
Same.
But when I have my own thing going on, like for example, I used to watch anime as a kid, like people would diss me or talk about, I would never care, like at all. I wouldn't care. So like when I have my own thing going on, when I'm playing video games or watching anime or doing my own thing, where I feel comfortable, where I feel safe, where I feel happy, you can't stop me. But if I'm ever in your world, anything you do to me, I'm upset. Like I'm cheesed. Like I'm super sensitive about it. So it's like it's like both ways.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess very similar. Like, because likewise way, it's like I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if I was like at a certain point, like things just, I was just like, okay, like I was just content with blending in and stuff, you know, and like it's that sensitivity, that same sensitivity where I was like so sensitive to other people's opinions and stuff. And like,
are you right now?
No, I don't think that's the weird part. It's like it felt like somebody put like a hot iron to my brain for a long period of time, and like until I learned my lesson, you know. It's like I just had to bash my head a million times, and I was like, oh shit, like this is what I like to do. Like this is the type of shit.
So you better put out that music then, man.
Yeah.
You better lock in on that for sure. Like, there's one thing to say, like, all right, I got it. But then there's another thing to apply it to your life. Like, if you truly don't care, like, you got to kind of show yourself. Like, there's two people. There's one of you that says, nah, we're still the same person from back then. There's the next person that's like, yo we're done with that. We're done with the past, bro. Like, we're who we are right now. So you got to show that person, like, by putting out that music, by being consistent, by being disciplined.
How do you practice? Like, I don't think I could practice consistency, even consistency as a belief. Like, in my head, right? I think my beliefs change based on the emotion I'm going through, you know? Or, like, change based on, like, what somebody says and stuff. Like, it's like, I don't know if it's people pleasing or everybody goes through it and I'm just too aware of it, but it's like, I don't think there's a consistent belief. You know, it's like I'm open to the idea of everything changing and seeing everything from a different lens. Like, I feel like I could take one idea and look at it from 10 different point of views and I could be like, true for all of them, you know? And it's like, it's annoying because then it's like, you have to have a truth, you know?
Yeah, I feel like.
But that's self-doubt as well.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you do have that one belief. You just don't know what it is, I think, maybe. But for me, I have my one belief. But I love to play devil's advocate for some reason. I love to see what other people are. You know what I'm saying? And just like, what do you think? And I just go through your eyes and I try to like argue your belief as best as I can to see like how far I can take it looking through your eyes.
Yeah. Do you ever like people ever go like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
bro, every single time I'd ever argue growing up, whoever had the weakest argument, if everyone's like, yo, this character's better than this one, I'd be like, nah, this one's better than, bro. And I would literally, they would really think, but I believed in that character. But then afterwards, like, some of my best friends would be like, yo, did you actually like that character? I don't even like that character at all. I don't. But I just don't like how you guys are disrespecting whatever that was built. Like, whatever they did to, like, make that character special, you guys just dismissed it. I don't like that. I feel like that character does have something. So everyone has a belief that I care about. I might have mine, but I want to see yours. I want to see, like.
Very, very introspective point of view. It's like that clearly, like, you see life a bit differently than when you're like looking in places where nobody else will look and be like, yo, what's here? You know, what's the specialty in this area? And like, it's cool how you're always relating it to like I mean, I guess like that's that passion. Like in a game you play.
That's how I see life. That's how I see life, bro. Like that's how I see things, man.
Yeah, I spent like 6.5, 7 years like just binge playing League of Legends. And
I never got into PC games or computer games.
I hated that game. Like, but it was addicting, and it was like an easy escape from everything. But yeah, I feel like the day I let go of that, it's like first I was playing a game. Now life is a game. Like my brain is. I get the same clicks in my brain that I got from that video game, but now in life and like with audio engineering and like songwriting and like fucking going to the gym or whatever. Like it's like the same fucking computer still running. That's like it hits the same points, you know.
All right, man. But like, dog, this was special though.
Yeah.
This was like a huge. You see, it's moments like this where I'm in the moment. I'm present, and I just love what life's doing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other place I would rather be than right now. Like, I feel like this is like a huge stepping stone where it's like I'm happy with everything I've done up until now, and to be doing this right now.
Yeah.
So
that's dope. Yeah, likewise. This shit is like, I don't know. It's like it satiates something, you know.
Yeah.
Like it feels really good to do. Yeah, and also like it's just dope. Like it's like it wasn't stressful, you know.
Nah, bro, it was just you just let go. It's kind of like relief in a way, you know.
Yeah,
and especially getting it done. Like this is a one time, you know what I'm saying? Like this is like our first time, both of us doing like a group podcast.
This is my first time, dude. I don't even like really take photos or videos or nothing like this.
Yeah.
At the start, like I was like, yo, do I need to like drink some fucking
do
I need to drink or something to get knock the edge off and stuff?
Nah, but you already had a convo with me, so you know that like it's just natural.
Yeah, no, it's just weird that it's recorded. And also hearing yourself back, it's like if I listen to myself and you're like, dude, you're so self-absorbed, you're so like you know, it's like I don't wanna maybe it's a good thing to confront your character. And like also like when you say like I go on tangents and stuff, and sometimes people tell me, they're like, dude, your tangent had nothing to do with the combo. Like, what the fuck were you saying? I lost what
bro.
you were trying to talk about.
It's all connected. A lot of things are connected. People don't see it.
Yeah. Yo.
This was great though. Mm-hmm. What time were you at?
1 hour exactly.
Oh yeah, bro. That's good. That's okay. Good, bro. Okay. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect, man. Love.